So often, wild animals are the casualties of our human existence. Killed for profit. Their habitats under threat. Made to live in cramped spaces, poorly fed. They're destined to live out their lives in misery unless someone takes action. Wild Animal Rescue follows the people from the international animal welfare charity Four Paws as they go on daring and sometimes dangerous rescue missions to give animals a better life. In this episode, a drama-packed mission flying 6 tigers from the Netherlands to South Africa. First, a medical emergency.
Hat keine Reaktion?
Nein.
Followed by hijinks on the tarmac. And then, the challenges of treating lions with medical problems.
Lift the lion up. How?
Frisia is a province in the northwest of the Netherlands. Agriculture and farming are the main industries here. Horses and livestock dot the landscape. It's certainly not where you'd expect to come across tigers, lions and panthers. This fairly ordinary-looking rural property is the Verlede Big Cat Centre, housing 20 large predatory cats that have been rescued from locations all over Europe.
This is Cromwell, and he came from Dartmoor Wildlife Centre in the UK. He ended up in the centre here after the Dartmoor Wildlife Centre turned out to have unsafe enclosures.
That was in 2002. The owner of the centre was charged with illegally breeding Siberian tigers and keeping them in poor conditions. Cromwell settled in nicely and mated with another tiger here called Juno.
They had 2 litters, and out of the first litter only Rasputin survived. And he is luckily a very healthy big tiger. And the second litter is 2 males and 1 female. They're called Mirza, Rafik and Sita.
Cromwell and Juno and their 4 cubs have continued to live at the centre, even through a period when the centre was struggling to survive. Originally called Pantera, it was founded in the early 90s as a shelter for big cats born in captivity. Many were retired circus cats that would otherwise have been put down. But a few years ago, Pantera came under financial pressure, and the enclosures began to fall into disrepair.
I met Juno and Cromwell 10 years ago, and I couldn't get them out of my mind. The way that they were kept, the darkness, the coldness, the smell, everything was just terrible. And I just couldn't get them out of my mind.
In 2013, Four Paws took over the centre and carried out maintenance and improvements to bring it up to scratch. An important part of daily life for the animals of Verlede is what's known as enrichment, activities which help to keep the animals physically and mentally stimulated.
If you look to especially predators in captivity, you can see that their environment is not stimulus for them, so they don't see any new things. And through enrichment, they can get their feeling that they're being in the wild, they have the new smells, they can hunt.
Physical props which provide enrichment can be cardboard boxes, balls, watermelons, or for the more sophisticated tiger, designer-label perfume.
This is just a normal perfume, but the smell is pretty intense. And when the animals look around in their enclosure, it's like they walking around in their own territory. And if they smell a different smell in their territory, they want to mark the smell. So that's why they get really interested in different smells in the enclosures. It's called flaming in Dutch. They put up their lips and try to scent in the air, so they have a special organ here, and they can smell better with that organ.
Despite all the enrichment activities and improvements made to the enclosures, the long-term plan is to move most of the big cats to places where they have more space and will be more stimulated. Cromwell, Juno and their 4 offspring are the next to be moved, but it's going to be a massive journey, all the way to Four Paws' flagship wildlife sanctuary, Lions Rock, in South Africa.
In South Africa, they get the space they need, they get all the facilities they need. They've got the trees they can climb in, they got the nice weather, they got the pools where they can swim, because tigers love to swim. And unfortunately, we can't give it to them here in the Netherlands.
The veterinary team have arrived. Experts in wildlife medicine, they have the important task of tranquilizing the animals in order to move them into their travel crates. Normally, they'd do a pre-anesthetic check on any animal that's going to be sedated. But with tigers being dangerous animals, that's not possible. There's an element of risk with this procedure. Their mobile clinic needs to be ready for any emergencies. The flight to Johannesburg is scheduled for 11 p.m. It's a 2-hour drive to the airport where there'll be inspections and documentation, which could take quite a while to clear. They can't afford any delays.
We do 2 animals at the same time because we have the luxury that we have enough veterinarians here around, so to keep the procedure as short as possible. We are working with dangerous animals, of course, and with dangerous drugs, so safety first. Safety for the animals and safety for all the people.
Frank is responsible for the safety of the team, and he's not entirely comfortable.
To be honest, the cages doesn't look really promising.
No.
The enclosures are not really 100% safe, and we have to cross public areas here, so a lot of people around. It's not the best situation working with dangerous animals, so that's the reason why we take especially more than 100% precautions.
Frank and his team estimate the weight of each animal and carefully calculate the dosages required to sedate them.
They are the biggest ones, so calculate 170, 160, she's 110.
Anesthetizing large carnivores is a risky business, with plenty of opportunity for things to go wrong.
It's quite important to have the right dose for the anesthesia, of course. So now we're going to prepare each individual dart for every animal.
The vets use a gas-propelled gun to dart the tigers. The first to be tranquilized is Rafik. The dart must hit a large muscle for the needle to lodge and correctly release the drugs. Next is brother Mirza. The anesthesia will only last around half an hour, giving the staff a short window of time when it's safe to handle the animals. It takes around 10 minutes for the drugs to take effect. The team follows strict safety procedures, only entering the enclosure once the vets have given the okay.
You're too big?
I'm a big guy, huh? Take it out, this one.
The first priority is to start monitoring the tigers to make sure they're responding okay to the drugs. But the small size of these holding cages is making the job very awkward.
He's lying also just in front of the door. Nice.
Rafik is stable, but Mirza's responses are causing concern.
She's really relaxed, huh?
Yes, he's breathing is not.
It's not as good. So
It's not deep and regular.
we will get the oxygen. Braucht Dopram hier?
Okay. So. Achtung, ich will nicht. Sorry, I need to go to the end. Milliliter?
5 Milliliter.
Adrenalin?
Ja.
Hat er keine Reaktion?
Nein.
Mirza has gone into cardiac arrest and needs a drug to get his heart beating again. Next, what are they trying to do to this lion?
Kom.
And Mirza's life is hanging in the balance.
Komm, wir müssen ihm ein Antidot geben.
Our four-paws team is moving 6 adult tigers from the Netherlands to South Africa. But Mirza, one of the first tigers to be sedated, has gone into cardiac arrest. The situation is critical.
This what?
Ja.
Wie viel? Wie viel?
Between 20 and 80, it's going up and down.
Okay. It's back. So we load him first. Quick.
Ich höre nichts gerade.
Hang on. Komm, wir müssen ihm ein Antidot geben. Lass uns ihn raustragen. Okay. Antidot fertig machen, ja? Okay, you ready?
Mirza is still very unstable. The team desperately need to get him into the travel crate so they can administer the recovery serum.
Someone hold the head, sir. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
So hard. Atmet 16 pro Minute. Atmet gut. Puh.
The recovery serum will now bring Mirza out of his sedation. Mirza's brother Rafik appears to be stable, but that incident shows why Frank and his team have to be prepared for any emergency.
The heartbeat was very, very low and he was not breathing. So that's the reason why we supplied oxygen and some emergency drugs.
Resuscitating Mirza costs the team valuable time, and they need to push on if they want to have any hope of reaching the airport in time. The tigers in the crates are carefully monitored until it's safe to wake them.
Think about still. They're checking the heartbeat and seeing if they can wake him up, and then he gets the antidote against the anesthetics. And then we close the door a bit, and as soon as all the wires are out, we close it, and then we wait for him to wake up.
Once each animal is awake, its crate can be loaded onto the transporter. Rafik is being loaded in front of Mirza, who is now fully awake and angry, causing her brother to stress as well.
Well, he's trying to get out, I think. I don't know.
With a journey of over 24 hours ahead, Mirza's stress levels are dangerously high. Also of concern, the mother tiger, Juno, isn't responding well. The team need to get her reacting before the transport can get underway.
Yeah, it's good. She's lifting her head. You're not allowed to transport immobilized animals, so we just needed to be sure that she's really not immobilized anymore. She has a hangover. If you tease her, she lifts the head and she's like, what are you doing? But if you let it go, she just goes down and sleeps. So it's fine, she's sleepy, but she's awake.
All of the animals are finally loaded. Now they can start the 2-hour road trip to Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. Some of the staff at Verlida have been caring for these tigers for many years, so this is a bittersweet moment.
Yeah, it's very mixed emotions. Happy for them, we're gonna miss them terribly, but we know where they're going to, and we're absolutely sure they're gonna be delighted.
This is the tiger's future home, Lions Rock, in the Free State, South Africa. Spread over 1,200 hectares, it's home to a variety of big cat, roaming game, and other African wildlife. It started with one group of rescued lions.
A former safari park in Austria got bankrupt. There are 14 lions without having any hope for the future. And 4 Paws stepped in.
After having no luck in finding an existing sanctuary to house the lions, 4 Paws came across a farm in South Africa and decided to establish their own sanctuary. That was in 2007. Today, Lions Rock is home to more than 120 big cats.
With the animals here, they should be in the wild. They shouldn't be in a sanctuary. What we're doing here is just to clean up the last things where the humans did wrong steps to deal with these animals.
Being rescued animals, many of the cats at Lions Rock need regular medical care.
Hello, my boy. Hey, how's it?
Head of Animal Welfare, Hildegard Perker, has called in local specialist vet Dr. Peter Caldwell to look at 9-year-old Genghis. He appears to be limping on his back legs.
Calcaneus Achilles tendon, eh? Laxicity of the Achilles tendons.
Dr. Caldwell's first guess is that damage to the heel bones has caused injury to the Achilles tendons.
I suspect both calcaneuses were broken at some stage.
Broken?
And then the Achilles tendon pulled its skew. You see the knee? Then the joint below the knee there. It goes right down. The angulation is down. I think it's causing inflammation and pain.
Genghis has been lured into the night room attached to the enclosure. That way it's much easier to dart him. Once he's sedated, he's taken over to the Lions Rock Clinic, where Dr. Caldwell and his team will perform X-rays. Eye drops are given to prevent his eyes drying out.
I just want to take some X-ray of his hips and his hind legs because the problem seems to be in the hind legs. There's crepitus there.
At 9 years old, Genghis is middle-aged for a lion. In the wild, males seldom live longer than 10 to 14 years. However, in captivity, they can live more than 20 years.
All right, what was that? Left. Left. Okay. Prep for the next one. And the line needs to be turned.
To get the next X-ray, the team must put Genghis into a seated position with his hind legs stretched out in front. Not a very flattering look for the king of beasts.
All right. Wonderful, Angie. Now you guys must hold it, eh? Hold it straight, otherwise you do the machine then if you can't hold it straight.
Trying to handle over 200 kilograms of deadweight lion is often a struggle.
Hold the line on top there, guys. Hold the line. You're letting it collapse. Come, guys. Come here.
That's 7 people trying to maneuver Genghis into position, and they're not having a lot of success.
Oh. Come. Pull the line back. Yeah, it's struggling. Oh.
The X-rays don't reveal any major problems with the bones in his legs.
This is the calcaneus I was talking about. That's totally normal. Achilles tendon is totally normal. So the bones are fine, eh?
So it's the spine.
Yeah, it's the spine. I think these ligaments are nothing to worry about. I think it's the spine. Okay, take a drip off and let's go. Nothing we can't fix though.
The solution is to put him on a drug program for up to a year. Hildegard can administer his medicine by way of dart gun herself without having to call the vet out. But first, she's going to need a bit of practice. Next, Hildegard discovers firing a hypodermic dart isn't as easy as it looks.
Put your dart in and put your doppies in.
You have to show me.
Okay.
And there's a serious situation for one of the tigers left behind at the Felida Big Cat Center.
Oh, now it moves a little bit. Maybe we... Oh.
Okay.
The 6 tigers may be on the road to South Africa, but the vet's work hasn't finished at the Felida Big Cat Center in the Netherlands. They're giving medical checkups to some of the older residents at the center, like Sandra, who's been suffering from health problems.
Well, Sandra has a bump on her back, and we're not sure how it happened, but we think that she probably slipped and got a hernia. And she also had a lot of trouble with her bladder.
Sandra's keepers have been treating her with antibiotics, but as soon as the medication stops, her symptoms return, and they're getting worse. At 15 years old, Sandra is nearing the end of her lifespan. Animals that are sick or old often cannot be rehoused due to the dangers involved in anesthesia and transport. Sadly, that means Sandra is unlikely to ever leave the center. However, the team here are still intent on giving her a good quality of life for the remainder of her years.
We took a blood sample and now we have her on the infusion line, and now we're going to start with the ultrasound examination. Yeah, and see what we find.
The ultrasound quickly reveals a serious problem with Sandra's bladder.
It looks like you cannot check it, so it looks like it's more like a mass, yeah.
Yeah.
The bladder looks pretty filled with something, so before, of course we cannot see the quality of the content, but we can just say that it's filled not only with urine, but filled with either pus or mucoid, but since pus could see some bacterial infection, the chances that it's pus is quite high. Oh, now it moves a little bit. You see that? Maybe we... Oh!
Okay. No, it's...
We're gonna wait what Frank says about the ultrasound, and then we probably put a catheter in and flush it.
Analysis of Sandra's blood provides further evidence of serious issues with her vital organs.
She has acetomia, which means that special metabolites that have to be excreted over the bladder, the kidneys and the bladder, that they didn't get filtered out of the blood, so they are now higher.
Further examination reveals damage to the kidneys as well. It's not looking good.
You really see a very unregular surface, and also compared to the aorta, the kidneys are already shrunk.
The kidneys are so destroyed that it's not reversible anymore. With the ultrasound, you see very first signs very early, before you see changes in the blood. But in her, the changes in the blood are already indicating
so it will only go
irreversible.
And it means she is in pain, or what?
Yeah, it's big pain. We diagnosed a very, very severe kidney problem. So it started already that the entire body get intoxicated, and it is very obvious that this is not reversible, and it's a lot of pain. It's very painful, and we made a clear decision: the best for the animal is to euthanize. So we made the decision for her.
It's devastating for the team. They've just given new life to 6 tigers, and now they had to lose one.
Okay, so look through this. Keep both your eyes open. Go point through the window there.
Back at Lions Rock, Hildegard is learning how to use a dart rifle so she can administer monthly medication to Genghis.
Put your dart in and put your doppies in.
You have to show me.
Okay. Come stand this side.
The gun needs to be loaded with a cartridge which provides the propulsion for the dart. There are 3 different strengths of cartridge, depending on how far you want to shoot.
Brown is the weakest, green is the middle one, and yellow is the strongest. Choose one that you would think you would want to use.
In which case, for now? Or
Yeah, say your line's escaped, yeah, and it's running there, just behind the trees, behind that Fortuner.
From where?
From the stairs. You can't get
From
closer.
here?
Yeah, from here you got to shoot that line.
You said this is the strongest, the yellow
Yes.
one, so I would use this.
Okay, put it in.
Shooting guns isn't what Hildegard signed up for when she decided to go into animal conservation.
I'm a pacifist. I'm a pacifist.
Now let's go and dart the lion.
That's where I aimed.
Perfect. Wow, that was a good shot. Was that a yellow one?
That was yellow, yes.
Okay, let's put a green one in. Out and in. Now shoot a green charge and let's see what this gun does on green charge. Every gun is different.
Hildegard shot with the highest strength cartridge first. Green is the middle strength.
I feel that first dart hit way too hard. You probably broke a bone or something.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, but it was very accurate. So one has to decide. Okay, now give a brown charge. Okay, close.
It doesn't even go there.
There's nowhere. Go and have a look at those darts and see how deep they went.
Wow.
It hits hard, eh?
Sorry.
You see, that went all the way in there. That would have broken a lion's
And that is a
That
wood.
one-
That's not a lion's bump.
That one hit a little less hard. Yellow, I'm scared of it. I never use yellow. You see, that one comes out quickly, eh?
Next, the tigers arrive in South Africa, but not everyone's happy.
Guys, Rafik is really stressed. Can we just not disturb him more?
And a lion that has the specialist amazed.
I've never actually seen a lion that looks like this before.
Wildlife veterinarian Dr. Peter Caldwell is visiting Lions Rock in South Africa's Free State.
Hello, Gypsy, and she's drinking water, which we don't really want her to do,
Yeah,
but it's okay, it's okay. We'll deal with it.
Hildegard has called him in to inspect several lions with special health problems, like Gypsy, a 14-year-old lion with dwarfism.
Yeah, I've never actually seen a lion that looks like this before. When I saw her, I was astounded.
She was born in Romania in 2001 together with a male. I'm not sure exactly how she became so handicapped, but must have happened while she was growing up, that they didn't nourish her properly and not enough sun, maybe inbreeding, a lot of factors can have been, but her brother was looking the same.
Gypsy and her brother spent over 10 years in a small concrete enclosure in Romania. Eventually, they were rescued by Pantera, the name the Felida Big Cat Centre went by before Four Paws took it over.
Unfortunately, her brother died in that period before Four Paws took over. And yeah, she's now here since July 2014. And in general, the climate here is much better for her joints because she has obviously arthritis.
During her past year and a half at Lions Rock, Gypsy has been in good health. However, in the past month, Hildegard has noticed that she often appears to be in pain.
When the animal keepers were coming to feed her every evening in here, she would run, really like run, hop, 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 funny way, but she runs. And this a month ago, you could see she was like walking slow, and that is the time when I thought something got worse.
Gypsy is obviously one of those cases that is not repairable, but there is a possibility of making her life a lot more comfortable. We're unsure of exactly what caused it. Is it the genetic component causing dwarfism, or is it medication that was used that caused premature closure of growth plates? But it's a syndrome of things. We call it a syndrome which is multifactorial.
Dr. Caldwell needs to sedate Gypsy before he can inspect her more closely.
Sorry, Gypsy.
The tigers have landed safely in South Africa and are quickly moved to the loading area for the final leg of the journey to Lions Rock. Barbara and keeper Juno travelled with the animals in the cargo plane.
During the flight we checked them once and they responded very well. They seemed calm and relaxed. I think now they're a bit stressed because of all the new people and the new smells and new sounds. So as soon as they're completely loaded, we can take off to Lions Rock.
A big team from Lions Rock are here to load up the tigers. Rafik, one of the young males, is not happy.
Guys, Rafik is really stressed. Can we just not disturb him more? Can we please all stay away from him? He's not very happy and you're stressing him out further.
Barbara briefs veterinarian Katja Kuppel on the status of the tigers.
Well, we were a bit concerned, of course, because Mirza reacted not so well to the sedation, and of course, you know, then right before we wanted to transport her, she seemed to be not very stable.
Okay.
So we were very concerned, and I see them now being a bit aggressive maybe or agitated, but I think it's just
I think it's
stress from
just
the
the stress
situation.
from being unloaded, the loud noise, lots of people.
The team are anxious to get going, but that can't happen until the paperwork and formalities are completed.
What happens when they're landed, when any live shipment is coming? Then we've got obviously the cargo agent, which is ensure that all the paperwork is here. Then we've got the state veterinarian, who will check all the paperwork, will ensure that these animals have the correct permits, all the veterinary permits are in order.
It's been over 24 hours since the tigers were sedated, and Rafik is getting increasingly agitated.
Rafik ate all his flooring, his wooden flooring. He shredded it in the middle and he's just taking all his anger out on the wooden floor. It's supposed to take us, 4 hours about? We're gonna have to stop to check on the animals. We have to get fuel for the vehicle. The animals are really stressed. We really want to get them on the road.
Finally, the convoy sets off. The 4-hour road trip will take them just under 300 kilometers south through the African countryside to the Free State. Along the way, the team stop to refuel and check on the tigers. Rafik appears to have calmed down, but now Mirza has Katja concerned.
I've got a report from the vet that he didn't do well on the anesthetic, so he's very, very flat. In the moment, I'm very worried. He's the only one not wanting to interact and look out, see the environment. He just wants to be left alone and sleep. And that's not a good sign. That just means something is not right.
Back at Lion's Rock, Gypsy, the lion with dwarfism, is going on a much shorter journey. She's off to the clinic for a medical and dental checkup.
We're working quite conservatively with Gypsy with respect to sedatives. We use the conservative dose. She went down really well, breathing really well. They noticed 2 of the canines that were fractured, the bottom canines, and they're doing root canals and repairing them.
Fractured teeth aren't uncommon in lions. It happens as they get older and their teeth wear down. Many of the rescued lions had a poor diet when they were young, so their teeth are brittle. 2 root canals will take a while, so Dr. Caldwell hooks Gypsy up to a respirator to make sure she gets enough oxygen.
So,
the dentist drills holes at the base and tip of the canine teeth to clean out the inside of the tooth.
The pulp is exposed and therefore infection is going to go in, potentially can go all the way into the jawbone, and that can cause abscessation and pain.
However, Gypsy's age is not making it easy for the dentists to perform the root canal.
As a tooth ages, pulp gets narrower, and that brings its own complications because it's very difficult to file it. And in her case, we had not a very wide pulp, it just takes a lot of work.
While the dentists work, blood samples are taken. These will reveal whether her dwarfism is affecting her organs. They finished removing the pulp and are now filling Gypsy's teeth with dental acrylic. It's taken almost 3 hours to get to this point.
We're done, Peter. I'm just waiting for this to set. It's going to be a minute or so. All right, let's go.
Dr. Caldwell wants Gypsy to have an X-ray. It'll be the first time she has been X-rayed. Hopefully, this will show whether Gypsy's dwarfism is impacting on other organs in her body. It could reveal if there are any other medical problems that are contributing to her pain. The tigers have finally arrived at Lion's Rock. This could be a traumatic introduction to Africa. All they've ever known are cages and enclosures in a European climate and landscape. Plus, several of the tigers have had a stressful journey. Tomorrow they will be released, and only then will the team get a clear idea of whether the rescue mission has been a success. At Lion's Rock, Gypsy the lion has had a lengthy operation on her teeth, and the medical team are taking advantage of her still being sedated to give her X-rays to see how her dwarfism is affecting her.
We took a whole series of X-rays of her whole skeleton just to get an idea of what we're dealing with. Yeah, those joints are all abnormal. It's very abnormal. The lower joints of the 4 legs were not great. There was a massive amount of osteoarthritis and degenerative joint disease causing not being able to walk properly, would occasionally cause pain. Also, it would deter her from obviously being very active. Together with her being inactive, you'd get a whole lot of other things, reduced intestinal function, and her metabolism would slow down quite a bit as well.
While the prognosis isn't great, it's no surprise to Dr. Caldwell, and it's certainly helped in working out the best course of action.
We're able to palliatively treat the condition and symptomatically keep the inflammation at bay and give her a good quality of life, which I think we have achieved, and I think it's a positive outcome in that irrespective of what she looks like and how she walks, we're still able to give her a good quality of life.
The tigers will be released first thing tomorrow, but before that can happen, Johanna, Barbara and Juno from the Four Paws team want to check out the enclosures.
So, trees and there's a pool down there and it's another house there.
The tigers will first be released into smaller adaptation enclosures, while the permanent enclosures are being completed. This will help them to acclimatize, because moving animals from very small spaces directly to large areas can cause them stress.
Look at this.
Wow. It's so deep. It's so big.
And it's not even filled. I mean...
The enclosures have been specifically designed to give the tigers a stimulating environment. Half a hectare of space with plenty of enrichment features.
The idea of this, it's just they need sometimes, of course, shelter from rain, from hot weather, and also for their privacy.
To help the tigers transition to their new home, keeper Yuno Fanson will be a familiar face that remains with them until they move into their permanent enclosures.
It is better than I expected, actually. If I looked at the enclosures on the pictures, but now seeing it for myself, yeah, it's really amazing. I think they will do great here.
The following morning, and the moment has finally arrived when the tigers can be released. But the Four Paws team aren't taking any risks.
I'm gonna make up a dart in case we have a problem that one of the animals goes through a fence or something. And because we won't have the time to make it when it happens, I'm gonna have it ready and loaded in case there's an emergency.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the very exciting day of the release of the 4 tigers that are still waiting patiently in the boxes. Safety is number one, and we have here on site 2 people with rifles. They are ready to protect us if it's necessary, but please don't make it possible.
Rafik and Mirza are already in the enclosures, having been released the previous evening.
So basically yesterday we released the 2 males you can see on the left-hand side because of medical conditions. Rafik was very, very, very stressed. So we decided he needed to go out and he needs to have some time to adjust to the enclosure. Because of the light fading, only those could be released yesterday because it wouldn't have been safe to release them in darkness because they can't see the fences and there's a possibility to run into them and they need to acclimatize. They both have done really, really well. You can see they're lying down. They're still a little bit on the stressed side, but that's normal. They're not used to people, they're not used to cars.
Looking at Rafik's crate, it quickly becomes apparent why he had to be released early.
You can see he just ate the floor completely almost. He hadn't ever experienced something like this. And was also one of the big problems was there were so many people out there. And I think the combination of all those factors just made it so stressful for him that he just, went crazy, yeah.
It's a graphic reminder of how powerful tigers are, and also of the unpredictability of wild animals. The crates are placed hard up against the enclosure door to avoid the risk of one of the tigers escaping.
Okay.
First to be released is Juno, the mother.
Oh. Oh.
Not surprisingly, it takes quite a while before she's comfortable about venturing outside the crate.
Come on, girl. You can do it. Yeah. Watch the tail. Yep. So many new sounds and smells.
Next, the father, Cromwell. He's a little bit more eager to leave his crate.
Ja hoor, de relaxedheid zelf. It's the first time in 10 years that he's walking on grass. Must be so confusing for him. Hey, hi. Hey, welcome home.
The cubs were born at Philida and have never seen grass or experienced enclosures like this. For them, it's a strange new world and very unsettling.
Hey. Hey. Come say hello. Hey. Hey, Ras. They're preparing Sita.
Hey, Zika.
Everything seems fine. Now it's just a matter of waiting to see how well the tigers settle into their new surroundings. 2 days later, Dr. Peter Caldwell receives the blood test results for Gypsy.
Now, I was extremely happy to see that there were no abnormalities. Her kidney function is perfect, her liver function is perfect. And in general, on the inside, she's a healthy cat, a healthy lion. So the only issues that we're going to have to deal with is to keep her pain-free. She's just got an amazing personality and a will to want to live. And just that alone is enough for me to want to keep her going. And I think she deserves the opportunity to have a good quality life. For everything she's gone through, I think she deserves it.
A good quality of life is also what the tiger family is now enjoying. It's been several months since they arrived at Lions Rock. They're finally in their permanent enclosures. And they're thriving.
It was after, I think, 5-6 weeks when we had everything done also, and when they were adapted well and settled in well, that we could release them to the big enclosure. It was actually very funny because they first went out, like testing the ground and checking it out, and at the moment we're still hesitating, but after I think 10 minutes, they started running and running up and down and chasing each other, and you could really see that they were surprised that they could run so far, It was really the first time that they could really run.
The space to roam, engaging environment, and an active lifestyle is providing clear benefits. The tigers are healthy, inquisitive, and playful.
This kind of thing is really nice if you can see it firsthand, and you can see how they are enjoying it and how they check out everything. And of course, then you know that all this was done, it was worth everything, and you know that they will have a really good life from there on.
Next time on Wild Animal Rescue, we follow a dangerous mission into the Gaza Strip to rescue 2 lion cubs.
We will be in Rafah. Jihadists killed today, I heard, about 60 soldiers.
But getting the cubs out of Gaza proves anything but easy.
The military decide here and they say the border is closed, which is really mad.
Humans have had a close relationship with animals for thousands of years. Scientists agree the domestic dog has been a trusted pet for around 15,000 years. And cats became part of the household from 10,000 years ago. And now it's estimated there are at least 600 million pet cats in the world. Exotic pets have also been kept for thousands of years. It's well documented that the Egyptians kept baboons as pets, and exotic animals kept in the home feature in many ancient texts. In modern times, the keeping of exotic pets has increased. A staggering statistic is that there are more tigers in the US alone than there are in the wild. Animal owners truly believe they are playing a role in preserving the numbers of exotic animals. But on the other side of the debate, there are those who believe it is a cruel practice to keep any animals in captivity. This series explores the issues from both sides, from those who know the dangers, but see the benefits, to others who condemn the keeping of exotic pets. Their stories follow. Driving one of these big trucks is a woman who, if you met at a truck stop, you would see what you think is a tough but fairly normal person. But this truck driver is far from normal, but in a pleasant, caring way. Bonnie is an interstate truck driver, but when she gets home, her life is about her animals.
I rescued her. She had a broken leg when she was a puppy, and they were going to put her down, and I said, how much do you want? How much is the vet going to charge you to put her down? And he said, oh, $50. I said, well, I'll give you the $50 and take the dog.
Bonnie's ranch is far from ordinary. Let's start with the dogs.
I've had up to 50, but being that I'm driving truck all the time now, it's too much. 20 is a little much anyway. It's a lot of work. And I have a great guy that comes out here and works and helps me do stuff. You know, it gets monotonous. I mean, because, you know, you got some that when I'm gone stay in the house and they don't get out. So, you know, you have a mess to clean up. The guys, you know how guys are about doing that. But they do a pretty good job, I have to admit. But, because I got some really old girls in here that are in their, you know, 14, 15 years old. And they can't take this heat and they can't take the bad weather. So you just have to do what you got to do. He's the one that brought the bears home. This is Reno, and he is a giant schnauzer. This is not something that's happened just all of a sudden, trust me. I've been doing this, like I said, for many, many years. I don't think anybody could have enough dogs. I mean, dogs are your buddies.
That's the dogs, about a dozen of them. Next, exotic parrots.
You shut up. You shut up. What did I tell you about that, talking like that? Give Mama a kiss. You love Mama? Oh, I love you too. Look at that, look at that. He's very intelligent. He can do all kinds of little things when he wants to, but getting him to do it's another story. It's like, you know, I don't have to, don't make me.
From there, it's horses, about 10 of them. And then an unlikely friend, a fully grown adult steer.
He's a very good pet. I probably could ride him if I wanted to, but he's a very good pet. Everybody thinks I ought to sell him, but I can't sell him. He's a pet. Shrek is a miniature mule. That's his mama right there.
Yes, that's a bear off in the distance. And its neighbors do eat a lot.
This is what the tigers eat. This is my so-called dispensary. They get chicken. This is what they're getting today. They're getting steaks, yum.
You heard right, tigers.
You have to try to give them variety. You have to give them chicken, you have to give them beef, pork, you give them horse meat. We do get deer in. This is the freezer for chicken. My people that work for me, so what I have them do is I have them take the chicken out and I make them look at the label for the weight and I tell them exactly how much I want fed every day. So for them to calibrate it, and then we have records that we keep on how much they eat, who didn't eat what today. Technically, USDA requires you to do that, but I do it on my own because if something happens, I can go to the vet and say, okay, this is what this tiger's done all week long, and he has a better frame of mind of what's happening. This is what the bears eat. This is the bear freezer. We have yogurts, we have butter, we have creams, rice pudding, a little bit of everything. Their favorite, ice cream.
If you're getting a feeling that this is Noah's Ark, you are right. Bonnie is a serious animal lover. Just think about what all those treats cost. Her 2 American black bears were accidental strays. The 750,000 black bears in America kill less than 1 person per year, and attacks in captivity are rare. But is Bonnie at risk with her bears? The answer to that is more about how they are looked after rather than whether or not they're dangerous. Contrast that with 26 deaths by dog attack each year, although there are millions of dogs in the U.S. alone.
This is Bam Bam and Pebbles. They're about 4 years old now. They came to me. I have a big black schnauzer I have. He's a giant. They were following him, and I thought they were dogs, but they end up being bears. And once they got the bottle and realized what was going on, they became my pets. These are American black bears. Come on, show them how tall you are. Good boy, good boy. Come on, good girl. Oh, Mama. Katie loves you. Mama loves you. I know. And these are my babies, and they've got really long claws, as you can tell. And they usually tear me up. There you go. Good girl. Pebbles, Bam Bam, stand up. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Hey, you're stealing them. Okay. They're stealing them. They're stealing them. Good boy. Yes, sir. Mama loves you. I love these bears. You can get in here and I can mess with them. Of course, you don't want to ever trust them because they show no sign that they're going to attack you. I have been bit, I've been clawed, I've been knocked down by them, and usually I carry a taser with me when I'm out here by myself so I can get up. And she's about as unpredictable as you can get. I've scared her and she's turned around and, you know, I walked up on her too quiet and I've scared her and she came at me. But, you know, it wasn't an attack. As soon as she realized it was me, she stopped. I can't express enough that these are wild animals and their mind can change at any moment. They can be killers in a matter of seconds if they wanted to. I have found with my experience with animals, exotics, domesticated, you feed them well, you take care of them well, you give them plenty to eat, they seem to be fine. When you start not feeding them and doing what you're not supposed to do, you hurt them, then they hurt you back. If you come at them aggressively, they're gonna come right back to you aggressively. Like if they're doing something and she's wanting to bite me, I just change her mind and go, no, 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 you know, it's okay. You know, you turn the tables on them. And loud noises will scare them. There's times that, like I'm doing something and they're being nosy, if I don't want them around, I'll slap the side of the tank and they run. I'm not a bear expert and never claimed to be, but being with these, and these are my first challenge with them, I've learned a lot. You know, I mean, it's been trial and error. I think they're doing good. I think I'm doing okay with them. I mean, some people may say I'm not, but they seem happy to me, don't they, to you? They're very easy to take care of. I'm really surprised. I've offered them meat, I've offered them fish. I put 4 rolls of hay out there day before yesterday. Look how easy they mangled it. They go up in the trees, they get on them, they climb up on them. I mean, they get way up there. They come down to eat and to pick on me. Have you touched one? Come here. Bam, bam. Come over here on this side, touch the butt.
These bears can be dangerous, but that is also part of their appeal. And this could be why predator pets are popular. The feeling of being with these animals is a mixture of fear and fascination.
I'm slightly worried now. Oh, he's licking me.
Oh, dinner. They're very strong. They can take a log and they can literally push it, move it wherever they want to. Oh, look at that. Is that good? When she comes in heat, she gets a little cantankerous and she can get pretty rough with him. But he doesn't show any aggression. He just does his own thing and gets in a different tree. Like a man, goes to a man cave. But this is my baby right here. This is my baby. Yeah. My main concern is keeping them where they're supposed to be, keeping them fed, and like I said again, as long as you feed them well, they're not going anywhere. And these guys here can't go back out in the wild because they don't know how to feed themselves. So basically they're mine until I die, and then when I'm dead, I have a sanctuary that's going to take them, and that will take them and the cats. So they already have a place to go. This way people won't have to say, well, she's an old woman, where are they going to go when she dies? Well, there is a place for them to go. And it's a wonderful place. And they will care for them like I care for them. Been there a zillion times to keep on different times and make sure how they take care of their animals, and I'm very impressed. I don't know how long they're going to live and how long I'm going to live, so there we go. They stand on the edge, and this is what happens to my $500 stock tank. Huh? More toys? Huh?
For our crew, bears are one thing, but Bonnie's apex pets require a little more respect. It is estimated that there are more tigers in the U.S. than in the wild globally. Bonnie's younger tiger was born in captivity, and to Bonnie, he is just a big playful cat.
She's, you know, just that playful teenager stage where everybody's a toy and everything we have is a toy. No, 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 gentle, gentle. You notice how she has not hurt the dog? She hasn't yelped or anything? What are you doing with the water? That's called chuffing. She goes, what was that? Oh, don't run, don't run. No. Oh, are you okay?
The concern is what will happen when the big cat reaches maturity. Incidents of pet tigers killing people are rare, but we have to always remember they are an apex killer. So Bonnie, one way or the other, is taking a risk.
Ow. Yeah, there's a stick.
You want a stick,
Bonnie? Bonnie, here's
No.
a stick.
No, I got it.
No, you stop. Now, come on.
Ooh.
Don't bite my leg.
Not just with one tiger, her second one is a fully grown female.
Well, she came to me 7 years ago. She had ringworm and a yeast infection all over her hair, and she was pretty poor, but now you can tell she's magnificent, she's healthy, you know. And she's not that she doesn't like that cat, she's just telling it to back off. But she's my baby, and I love her. Well, she weighs 450 pounds. I go in there and pet her, and I do clean the pen, do everything like I do with like I did with the other cat. But when people are here and the cameras, she gets bashful. So, and I think, you know, I mean, she's back here in the back. She don't get a lot of people here to socialize with her. If she had more people to socialize with her, she'd probably be all over us. But really, she's a very good cat. She's not mean, she's not aggressive. You know, when she's scared, you saw what she did. You know, she kind of growls a little bit, you know, but I mean, that's just to show you to back off. You know, she's a tiger. Again, you know, don't feed her, she'll eat you. I've only been scared of one cat in my life. I was in the pen with 2 cats, and I was against the fence like this, and they double teamed me. One come here and one come here. They've never hurt me, but it is definitely a feeling that, you know, okay, this could be it. You know, but otherwise, no, I'm not afraid of them. I mean, I should be, I mean, I'm very let's put that a different way. I'm not scared of them, but I'm very cautious of them. You can't, I don't know how to explain this feeling, but I mean, I just don't have the fear of them, but I know they can kill me. I know they can hurt me. You know, I don't turn my back on them. I mean, I know what they are. I know that they can be an aggressive animal, and they can be friendly one day and be an idiot the next day. The thing is when you're feeding them meat, get out of the pen. Why do you want to be there? They're eating. If they're having a bad day, why irritate them? Leave them alone. Let them just go through their bad day. It's a sense you have with animals, you know. If you have that sense, your chances of getting hurt is minute, you know. But if you're bullying them or doing things and you don't pay attention, then you get hurt, and that's what usually happens with people. They're not for everybody, you know, and not everybody wants them. They're a big expense. They cost a lot of money every month to feed. It's not that they're a lot of work, but you have to take care of them. You have to know when something's wrong with them. But that's the whole idea of owning animals anyway, isn't it? Oh, come on, Nushka. Come on, Mama. Come on. Anushka. It comes from Alaska, and it means the first ray of light. So that's what I thought of. And then Sunita, the little one's name, is a Spanish name for beauty. But those are my children, as children go.
The American bison is an unpredictable and at times lazy and unconcerned animal. They appear peaceful, but this large mammal has a temperament that is totally unpredictable. Bison roam the plains of North America in their millions. Hunting decimated their population down to less than 1,000 animals. Today, things are looking up. The population is growing, and to one family, a pet bison is the perfect house companion, even if the house is a little A-frame cottage on the plains of Texas.
People that don't know me think I'm crazy, and the people that know me know I'm crazy. I've been here for 31 years, and I've been training horses for a living, and I use buffalo or bison to train my horses with. Yeah, I was fascinated with them when I was a kid and never thought about even owning one. I don't think when I was young you could legally own a bison. They're a little on the crazy side, and most people that raise cattle don't want to mess with them because they tear your pens and stuff up. They're a lot wilder than a cow is, and they're harder to handle for most people, but if you know how to handle them, they're almost as easy to work as cattle are.
Sharon and R.C. are both extreme animal lovers.
We both have the fascination with bison. I'm not much for the little bitty dogs or anything like that. I like the wildlife. And that's one reason why R.C. and I, fit together, because we both like the wildlife. The more Western it is, the better we both like it. First time I ever saw a bison, of course, was R.C. I mean, in life, I've seen them on TV and all that, but first time was whenever R.C. brought some home to train his, cutting horses. After that, we decided to own Wild Thing, and he become our pet.
Keeping a bison as a pet does have its challenges. They can weigh up to 2,700 pounds and run at over 30 miles per hour, and they can get a little grumpy.
A lot of times you got to go in the pen with them, and you got to know your distance and everything, because if you get too close, they're going to come after you, or they're going to run away. And if they don't run away real quick, they're fixing to come and get you. They're the largest land animal in the United States that's native to the United States. They can outrun any horse. It's always dangerous being around a herd of bison because you don't know when one's going to attack you. And I have had them horn my horses and knock my horses all the way down on top of me. I've been in this situation a lot. One particular cow one time come after me, and if I hadn't had a jacket, I threw it on top of her horns, and I got out of the pen while she was fighting the jacket. He got me down one time 3 times in one day, and my wife had to dress me for 3 days. Hello? He knocked me down. He was wanting me to be a buffalo and play with him, but I got to an axe handle and explained to him we didn't do that.
R.C. counts Wild Thing as his pet and his companion on the ranch. This big bison is, at times, almost cute.
Wild Thing, of course, you know, I mean, he's a little orange calf, you know, whenever we get him. He's about 2.5, 3 months old. And of course, RC's trying to halter train him and everything, and he conquers that. But then I have a brilliant idea, and I said, well, why don't we bring Wild Thing in the house? Hello, Wild Thing. And he says, you don't understand. He is a bison. He could tear up your house. You may not have nothing left. And I, well, you only live once. You bring your cats and your dogs and your kids in the house, so might as well. So ever since then, we've been bringing Wild Thing in the house, and he's grown up with us. He has lots of personality. Even though he's a bison, he's got personality. I mean, if he gets his feelings hurt, he goes and pouts. And you know when he pouts, because he just has that certain look in his face and the certain movements that he gives. Wild Thing also likes to be pushy sometimes, but then again, Wild Thing can be loving. Wild Thing! Hello, baby boy. But only to RC and I. Only the past 10 years, I've been able to actually touch him and groom him. I mean, I'm always out there taking pictures of him and different things like that. I can wear fringe and wear big headdresses that I make with feathers. RC, he can't wear fringe around him, not safely. So, you know, and I think it's because Wild Thing's used to RC being just a cowboy, and he's used to me being just out there, because I mean, I'm always out there. So he never knows what to expect of me. But there's times that Wild Thing is sitting outside, relaxing, and I may kind of crawl in and lay close to him. I can't touch him, I can't lay up against him, because then he'll jump up. But I do lay in there with him, and then sometimes RC and I both will lay in there together. And I mean, you know, he can be, you know, seem real sweet, but he's not a, you know, sweet animal per se, you know. I mean, he is a very dangerous animal for others.
Well, I'm afraid he might tear up stuff, you know, if we brought him in. But when I brought him in, it was kind of odd because he behaved himself in here. And then pretty soon I was leaving the door open, and he'd come back and forth in the house. But he never used the bathroom in the house. If he'd ever used the bathroom in the house, this deal would have never happened. He potty trained himself. I do not have a clue how you could potty train a buffalo. Now that he's gotten big, we have to move coffee tables and couches around. It's like having a small car come through your house. He has a hard time getting his horns through the doors. We've had people eat with us before at their own risk, but it's not probably perfectly safe for them, although I'm willing to lay down my life to save theirs. When the grandkids come over, we have to put up fences, we have to put up everything in the house. We don't have to when Wild Thing comes in. I'd rather have the Wild Thing in the house than my grandkids most of the time. So far, he hadn't tore up anything. He's just been perfect in the house. He looks at everything. He's real curious about everything in the house, but he doesn't tear up anything. A lot of times, as soon as he walks out of the house, he'll knock my barbecue pit over, but it's outside. But in the house, he's a perfect gentleman. He's unpredictable. In the house, he's pretty predictable. Outside, he's really a crazy, wild, crazy animal outside. He's very dangerous for anybody else to be around. It's taken 10 years for Sharon to be able to go around them safely. And I still want to be there for her, because I will attack him. I can't win, but he thinks I can win. Always being the alpha, you got to be the alpha. You got to have enough courage to stand up to him, even though you know you can lose. I don't have a chance against him, but he thinks I can. Once I get him by the horns, he thinks I got him. It's a big bluff.
It is likely that Wild Thing is the only fully trained bison in the world. His skills go beyond wrecking the fences.
He pulls a chariot, plows a garden. He was her best man at her wedding. My boy's the first one to ski behind a buffalo on sand. And my daughter's the first one to snow sled behind a buffalo. He eats at the dining room table with us. Any crazy thing I can think of to do, I do it. He's the first one to ever pull a canoe.
There are times that Wild Thing seems to get what's going on, even at a big event like his owner's wedding.
I just thought it's something different to do. I didn't know anybody ever know about it but us, but I thought it was kind of cool to have a bison or buffalo as a best man.
Our minister, he knew us already, so...
He wasn't real comfortable, though.
No, he wasn't real comfortable, but he liked it. I mean, he thought it was neat, you know, and he only said only for us, not for everybody. Our wedding has been all over the world.
He was a good gentleman. He did throw the rings off his horns, though. I see him as a little baby. I don't see him as a big buffalo. He's a baby to me. He's not big to me because I've raised him, and he's still a baby to me.
Yeah. And when you look at his little face, it just looks so sweet. So you just fall in love with him, you know.
I have no fear of him at all, but I do know when not to mess with him. He's moody. There's sometimes I know that I better leave him alone.
There is no doubt that this is a dangerous animal. It could escape and cause a lot of trouble. But to date, Wild Thing has seldom wandered beyond his local street.
If he gets out, everybody just take pictures from their porch, but they know not to go around him.
Yeah.
He goes down the road about a quarter of a mile and fights a cedar tree. And I learned the first time I went down there, I better let him fight the cedar tree for a little while, because he'll come after me if I try to make him quit too soon.
Mm-hmm.
So I let him go ahead and fight it for a little while, then I'll put a rope around his horns and lead him home. He's got a real big barn, and he has fans in it, and I water the ground every day because it's hot this time of year, and he stays pretty comfortable. Of course, his favorite place is in the house. I go there and feed him every day. I can pour the feed in the trough. If you try to pour the feed in the trough, he'd kill you. He don't want anybody feeding him but myself and Sharon. I have let other people feed him through the fence, and he'll attack them.
RC treats Wild Thing with mutual respect, but it is RC who has to do the cleaning up.
I just got a lot of joy out of him. I got to clean his poop out of the yard every day, and you know what? I'm glad it's out there so I can clean it up because I just enjoy him. I brush him every day. I spend more time with him than I do my wife. I'm in the pen with him when he's tearing up stuff usually. He may be throwing the canoe in the air or tearing the fences up. I stay in the pen with him. Ever since he hurt me one time pretty good, I think he knows he hurt me and now he don't want to. And the hard part when we're filming or doing something out there and we want a video or something, I can't get close to him when he's tearing up stuff. But for the opposite reason, you think.
Woo!
If I get close to him, he's gonna quit. Because he's gonna protect me by quitting. So if I wanna, Sharon's doing a video of him tearing up a fence, I gotta stay back far enough that he won't quit. Because once I get in a danger zone, he shuts it down. He knows I'm his best friend because I never do anything against him. I do everything for him.
Wild Thing will be here
All his life.
all of his life.
Yeah, we'll never give up Wild Thing. He hopefully he's middle age. He's 12 now, and he should live to be around 25 at least. I hope. Mm-hmm. And he's not going anywhere. There's no amount of money could ever buy him. He'll never be for sale.
Never.
And he would be too dangerous for anybody else to have. And one thing about the bison, there are some other trainers. There have been other trainers. I've known 4 of them killed in the last 5 years, and they kill nearly all their trainers. And he may kill me, but I hope he don't. And I sure want to protect her.
It's hard to define Tippi Hedren, the Hollywood legend and star of The Birds, Marnie, Roar, and The Countess from Hong Kong. She has been an active humanitarian, creator of a multi-million-dollar manicuring industry, and is the only actor to have worked on films with both Alfred Hitchcock and Charlie Chaplin. But her real passion is with the beauty and majesty of the big cats. Her recent biography looks into her acting career, but spends more time on her love of animals. Tippi is the founder of Shambhala, a sprawling 40-acre wild animal sanctuary a few hours north of Los Angeles. Shambhala is home to around 30 big cats.
I can't even imagine my life without these big cats. I can't even imagine it. I mean, they've given me so much. Certainly on understanding the species and totally respecting the qualities that are inborn into those beings and what is in that brain and what activates those instincts and just getting to know these animals. It's been a great honor. It's been something that we have to have done to be able to give them the life that we have given them, to be able to understand them. We can't understand everything about them. Enough to really give them a good life. There's something very, very fascinating about something of great beauty. The personality of the great cat is varied and elaborate and dangerous, and you know, they can kill you without even thinking twice about it. Well, I've always been in love with them, even before I even had a possibility of going to Africa. Seeing them actually in their own environment, in their own way of life and being free, and it was an astounding time.
Shambhala Reserve is not a zoo or an animal park. It was set up to take on the role of looking after animals that no longer had a home in the U.S. Some were dropped off at the gates, others have come from circuses or zoos, and many from private pet ownership. It is estimated that over 3,500 tigers alone are in private ownership in the U.S., with many of them now too large to look after.
I don't know the exact numbers of them, but I know it has diminished because people are getting smarter. I mean, with the exotic feline, you're dealing with an apex predator. You're dealing with an animal who could just as soon kill you as just walk across the room. They are extremely dangerous. They have instincts born in them that can never be removed. And they are dangerous.
Tippi Hedren knows too well the dangers. During the production of her feature film, Roar, tigers and lions featured heavily in the story. This meant working closely with a number of dangerous animals, and incidents did happen.
I had seen a number of accidents caused by these animals. I was hurt. Practically all the people on our movie had some sort of an encounter with one of the animals, with a lion or a tiger. And they were going to name a wing at the Palmdale Hospital after us because we were there so much.
Melanie Griffith, Tippi's daughter, a well-known actor in her own right, was also on the set of Roar. Melanie was very used to having the big cats around, but even then, things can go wrong.
Gosh, she was leaned over. She did something. Anyway, one of the cats was a lion, and it got her right across her forehead. I just grabbed her and ran, got out the gate, and put her in the car, and we went to the doctor. And she had to have a whole, all these stitches put in her forehead. Fortunately, he did a really good job. You'd never know it. So I do know from where I speak, these are not animals that should be in somebody's home as a pet or in captivity in somebody's backyard in an 8x10 cage or, that kind of confinement. I think the American public is becoming smarter. They're becoming more aware of the fact that this is it's simply brutality to have those animals in a circus. It's not only brutal to keep the strict confinement that they're in, the treatment that they have in order to do those stupid tricks that they make them do is, it's obscene. It's horrible, and those poor animals, I'm surprised more people haven't been killed by these animals from the treatment they've had.
Shambhala is Tippy's home. She shares the 40 acres with her cats. And in the past, it was common for some of the animals to live in the house, even to the point of sleeping on the bed with her daughter, Melanie. Tigers and lions were their pets, so much so that this image of a tiger jumping through the kitchen window was not set up. It was just one of the many daily events that happen over many years of rearing the big cats. But Tippy reached the conclusion that rather than having them as pets, they should be studied and left to live their natural lives rather than be part of the household. The decision was made to stop the interaction with the animals, especially after the dangers became more noticeable.
There was a whole group of women. They were in college. They wanted to have a photograph with a tiger. And they found the tiger, and the tiger was trained to stand there and be photographed. And they all went up and had their picture taken with the tiger, and one of them went up, and the tiger moved and stepped on the girl's foot, and she screamed, and the tiger jumped her. There are situations that are so frightening and so unnecessary. It never should happen. In fact, at one point, I remember gathering my staff around, and I said there will be no more contact with any of the animals again. Right now, it's over, it's done. And they were all really angry because they really enjoyed having that one-on-one with the animal, with the lion or the tiger. And they were smart, they knew what they were doing, but that doesn't make a difference. You're dealing with an apex predator who has the top say. They have the top word. It's a great honor to have one of these animals be your friend. To know that that animal recognizes you and likes you, but they're a weapon. They're a weapon, and they operate simply on their minds and their instincts. And you can't ever forget that. When you're not dealing with a killer, I think any kind of an animal needs to have whoever becomes the power of in a captive situation must know everything about that species, about what does that animal need, and what can I give it that they need, not what I feel like giving them. Oh, well, I've got an 8x10 cage out in my backyard. That'll be fine. He'll fit in there. That's not enough. No, there's a great deal to know about an animal, any animal that you decide to take into your life, no matter what it is. Whether it's, my little cat that just walked by, or whatever. What can I give that animal that will give him a life that he will be content? And if you look at it that way, there probably wouldn't be so many unhappy, miserable animals in captivity. I think there are a lot of people who would like to have a wild animal as a pet. You know, of course, it depends on the type of wild animal that you choose. However, if you're choosing an apex predator to become your pet, you're making a very, very big mistake. A huge mistake, because the instincts in those animals are in there. It's in their brain. And there's nothing you can do to change that. They will always be a danger. You just don't ever know when it's going to come to the foreground, and most likely you wouldn't have the strength or the knowledge of how to react to it. I mean, these animals are powerful beyond belief. I don't know, the tensile strength of these animals is one that we can't, in their greatest amount of power that they exude, there isn't any way that you could fight that, other than a bullet. I feel very, very grateful that I've been able to have this life with the big cats. I am very grateful that I have managed to become an older woman. I've still got all my limbs and I'm still walking upright, because there have been times when I was put in the hospital, because you're dealing with an entity that is so powerful and so unforgiving. And they're not good at telling you what their plans are. We feel very, very fortunate that we haven't had any serious problems with these animals. And I do not recommend anyone acquiring a lion or a tiger as a pet, for any reason. The fascinating thing about them is that you just never know. I mean, you can have 10 years of just absolute angel lion, angel tiger, and then bam. It's like playing Russian roulette.
Shambhala has its role. It is one place where lions and tigers can feel safe and cared for. Tibby Hedren has done so much for these animals. They are in captivity, but the respect shown to each and every one of them goes without saying. But the final word on owning a predator pet is a warning.
With the exotic cats, you're dealing with a serial killer.
So often, wild animals are the casualties of our human existence. Killed for profit. Their habitats under threat, made to live in cramped spaces, poorly fed. They're destined to live out their lives in misery unless someone takes action. Wild Animal Rescue follows the people from the international animal welfare charity Four Paws as they go on daring and sometimes dangerous rescue missions to give animals a better life. In this episode, Four Paws goes on a dangerous mission into the Gaza Strip to rescue 2 lion cubs.
We will be in Rafah. On the Egypt side, it's really a big war. Jihadists killed today, I heard, about 60 soldiers.
Tricky negotiations with the cubs' owners.
أكيد صعب كتير. لحظة مؤلمة جدا.
And politics and suspicions create chaos for the team.
Part of the team allowed to go in, they have the permit to go in, the other cannot go in. Start to be insecure in the border, and I cannot divide the team.
Rafah, on the southern border of the Gaza Strip. In March 2015, images of 2 lion cubs living with a family in a Palestinian refugee camp go viral. The family bought the cubs from a local zoo that was badly damaged and desperate for money after airstrikes the previous year. Four Paws sends veterinarian Dr. Amir Khalil and his team to investigate. There they find the 2-month-old cubs in a cramped 3-bedroomed apartment with a family of 6 children. At first glance, the situation appears harmless, but the living conditions will quickly become dangerous to both people and the lions. Four Paws are eager to find a way of rescuing them from their inappropriate private keeping. 3 months later, and the cubs have grown significantly. Now local celebrities, they're frequently paraded around the camp and surrounding areas. But as they're getting larger, it's clear their playful biting and games may soon become a problem. Concerned about the potential danger they pose to children in the camp, children's charity UNICEF has requested help from Four Paws. It's not just the risk factor that makes the current arrangement untenable. At 5 months old, the cubs eat around €40 worth of meat per day and are pushing owner Saad Al-Jamal to his financial limits. Being located inside the Gaza Strip means there's no easy solution. After months of planning and negotiations, Four Paws has deployed a team to neighboring Jordan and are about to embark on a rescue mission. Dr. Khalil briefs the team on the eve of their departure.
He bought 2 lions with the idea to make a lot of money with these lions. He said, okay, these 2 lions, I will take them. For example, if there is a football match, they will take the same T-shirt like the players. They are also not in good condition because the nutrition, he don't have the proper food for the animal. The vaccination, there is a lot of also stray animals there like cats and dogs. So it could be a source of infection for the lions or for the kids.
It came out very clearly that they will need our help and they will be soon a danger for their surrounding and lots of children living in this refugee camp. And we were working the last months, like 3 months or 4 months, just to be able to do that mission.
The plan. The team will take the lions out of Gaza, across the border into Israel, travel 130 kilometers to the Israeli-Jordan border, then another 70 kilometers to a wildlife sanctuary in Jordan. It's an ambitious, daring plan, considering the constant tension between Israel and Palestine's government forces.
They consider us, we come from the enemy line, and the Israel consider us, we come back with the enemy line.
For it to work, somehow the Four Paws team has to get the approval of authorities in Israel, Palestine and Jordan.
Started to coordinate with some embassies, like Israel Embassy in Vienna, Austrian Embassy in Tel Aviv, with a Jordanian colleague. We get approval from all of them that we are able to do this mission.
Additionally, there are documents required for transporting wild animals across international borders.
Even the owner don't have any documentation about his lions. I mean, to export any lions, you need CITES permits, which in Gaza, there is no CITES authorities.
Coordinating between Israel and Palestine hasn't been the only challenge. Owner Saad Al-Jamal has reportedly been offered $9,000 for the cubs from an unknown buyer. It's against Four Paws' policy to buy animals, and to do so would raise suspicions in Israel about the team's true intentions. They will have to rely on the goodwill of the owner.
They consider if any money go inside and we support whatever, they consider it you support terrorist organization. What we agreed with the man in the last deal and the last meeting, we can cover what he really borrowed. The man borrow money to feed the lion. So if somebody pay his credit, he will be willing to give the lions.
At this stage, the owner will honor the agreement to donate the lions to Four Paws. However, there's no guarantee he won't change his mind. Even more of a worry for Dr. Khalil is ensuring the safety of his team throughout the mission.
You know, we will be in Rafah. Rafah is like 2 cities. One is from Israel side, one from Egypt side. On the Egypt side, it's really a big war. And this 48 kilometers is like the hell. Jihadists killed today, I heard, about 60 soldiers on this side. Today, don't go on your own to make anything alone. Don't do this.
Despite all the risks they face, Dr. Khalil knows he and his team have one thing in their favor.
Animal can build bridges between countries. Last time, with the 3 lions which we took from Gaza, 3 countries were able to agree on one thing together. So I can imagine these 2 lions, maybe it could be a message how to build bridges and to break these borders. Animals can connect people.
The planning is in place. Now it's time to act. The rescue contingent is made up of the 4 Paws Rapid Response Team and media from several nations.
So good luck for all of us. Long day.
Today, Dr. Khalil hopes the team will be able to travel 60 kilometers across Jordan to the Israeli border and then pass through Israel, entering the Gaza Strip on its northern border at the Erez crossing. They're close to the Israeli border, but before they can cross, they must change vehicles and hand over their passports. If any of their paperwork isn't right, the mission could fail right here. If all goes according to plan, this is where the cubs will end up. Al-Mawa, or the New Hope Center in Amman, Jordan.
This is actually for the 2 new cubs. We only need to electrify the fence and then it's ready to go and waiting for the cubs.
Established in 2010, this wildlife facility is backed by Jordanian royalty. A collaboration between the Princess Alia Foundation and 4 Paws. It's an ex-livestock farm that's been converted into a halfway house for rescued animals. Its main role is as a rescue center where medical treatment can be administered and the first stages of rehabilitation can begin. The New Hope Center is home to big cats, bears, wolves, primates and many other animals. And there are plans afoot for big improvements.
Al-Ma'wa, the sanctuary, it has 2 functional units. The New Hope Center, which basically is the clinic and the first 2 phases of the rehabilitation. And then the second functional unit is Jarash, which is the main sanctuary, the permanent natural enclosures.
Obviously the situation isn't ideal. I mean, even here the cages are much too small, but from there the idea came to have a proper sanctuary, which we're working on, and hopefully that will be ready in a couple of months and the animals will be in much bigger spaces.
The new sanctuary in Jarash, Al-Mawa Suf, will be a state-of-the-art facility covering over 140 hectares.
It's in a very beautiful area, and in fact it's an area that's quite endangered because it's one of the last Mediterranean natural forests in the region. And Jordan obviously doesn't have that many trees, so we try and protect them. We see the animals as they're supposed to be, relaxed, and people like to see them. So hopefully it'll be a good awareness for people in the region as to how these animals really ought to be kept.
Wir verlassen gerade Jordanien Richtung Israel, israelische Grenze. Da kommt gleich jetzt King Hussein Bridge oder die Brücke von King Hussein und dann geht zum LNB, israelische Grenze.
The 4 Paws team have made it out of Jordan and are crossing into Israel. Their route to the Gaza Strip takes them through the heart of Jerusalem.
Wir sind gerade an Erez Crossing oder Grenzübergang gekommen und hier fängt wir den richtigen Abenteuer und Herausforderung jetzt. Jetzt geht's richtig los.
Next, there's trouble at the Gaza border.
I cannot divide the team. At the moment we have to go in one and to leave one.
Animal rescue charity 4 Paws is sending a team to the Gaza Strip to rescue 2 lion cubs from a refugee camp. The team has traveled through Jordan and Israel and is approaching the Israeli-Gaza border. The Erez crossing is made up of 3 checkpoints. First, the Israeli border control, then the Palestine Liberation Organization, and finally, the Palestine-controlled immigration point. The crossing has been the scene of much violence. A suicide bomber killed 4 people here in 2004. Israeli border and military personnel now sit in offices high above ground level, watching through windows and closed-circuit television. The team has a long transit through a caged passage that crosses the buffer zone to reach the Palestinian border. It's a setting that puts all of the Four Paws team on edge.
It was long issue to get the permit to enter to Gaza, so it was really very long day. I will say in war of nerves. It could be a lot of political influence on this issue. So I hope to keep quiet till we have the alliance and our ownership, we have clear contract, clear communication, and I hope, yeah, we'll be able to manage.
Amir, welcome to Gaza.
Dr. Khalil is doing his best to play down the significance of their mission. They still have one checkpoint to go, and he doesn't want to attract the attention of an overzealous security official. The final transit through no man's land is taken by taxi. But the team's progress comes to a sudden halt at Gaza immigration.
The border is closed now on Israel side, so the colleagues cannot go back. Part of the team allowed to go in, they have the permit to go in, the other cannot go in. And they said it is a security matter, so it is tough situation at the moment, tough situation. Start to be insecure in the border, everyone say it's not secure in the evening, it's empty area. Military take over here, and I cannot divide the team. At the moment we have to go in one and to leave one.
The team has little choice but to wait in no man's land and hope the Gaza authorities will eventually issue permits for them to enter.
I am here, Vice Director. I come here to help you. We don't want to delay you, but it's not our order. Our order comes from inside, Gaza office. If there is order to allow you to enter, it's okay for us. We like this order. We wait as you. But up to now, there is no any order, okay?
Dr. Khalil's plan to retrieve the lion cubs tonight is looking very unlikely. And to make matters worse, Saad, the cub's owner, is starting to have doubts.
He think like we lie him or the guys lie him because he said to him since 2 days we are on the way, we are coming, but no one is there, he's waiting.
The Four Paws team has spent months convincing Saad to donate the lions, and in the time lost here at the border, there's the very real risk he could change his mind. He's had an offer of $9,000 for the cubs. Very tempting for a father of 6 living in a refugee camp. It's going to be a long night. Most of the crew decide to bed down for the evening.
We just got our room for tonight, luxury apartment, 5 beds, and we hope we get a few hours of sleep now. I think Amir, as the mission leader, will not sleep as something could happen.
Even though nothing is likely to happen tonight, Dr. Khalil's experience on major rescue missions in Palestine has taught him to be ready for all eventualities. In 2014, Al Bisan Zoo in northern Gaza sustained horrific damage from airstrikes during the conflict lasting 51 days. By the time the ceasefire was declared, more than 80 animals had perished. Of the 20 animals still alive, some were wounded and all were traumatized and starving. The situation was desperate, and Dr. Khalil led the Four Paws rescue team.
We saw here 2 lions, 1 male and 1 female. They survived the war here. 1 lion was with them, passed away from the missiles which attacked these enclosures here. As we see, the animal keepers cannot clean this place at all since over 55 days now. The female is apparently pregnant, which means if they have her kids or babies, they will pass away. no water, no food. Really very, very bad situation for the animals.
The team delivered urgently needed medicine and food to the animals. They also restored the water supply and carried out repairs to enclosures. The lions were relocated to the New Hope Center in Jordan, where they're now recovering. It's early morning, and there's been no change in the local authorities' position on letting all of the team into Gaza. So, with time running out, Dr. Khalil is forced to make a decision.
Amir just woke me up that we don't have any other chance just to go now only the 4-post team, pick up the lions, negotiate with the owner, because it will get too late and we will have no chance to get the lions if we wait any longer.
Only 3 members of the rapid response team have permission to enter Gaza. Despite Dr. Khalil's concerns about his team being at risk if they split up, he has no choice because the Israeli border will close for the weekend shortly after midday.
It's a little before 7 in the morning. I have less than 5 hours to go to pick up the lion and to come here and they will let us go. So I hope this is the truth.
With their passports held at the border, Dr. Khalil's hoping the team can get in and out as quickly as possible. The operation is now attracting a lot of attention, and the longer it goes on, the greater the risk one of the local authorities will intervene. The unit travels south to Rafah, where the cubs are being kept. Their route takes them through the heart of the Gaza Strip. It's only an hour's journey, but the scars of decades of war are a constant reminder that this area is still extremely volatile. Conflict can break out at any time. Next, the rescue team may not be able to get out of Palestine.
We have a problem. The border is closed, which is really mad. You cannot go here, you cannot go here.
After months of preparation, the team finally reaches the Al-Shabura refugee camp and sets eyes on the lion cubs.
Im Ganzen gesundheitlich schaut sie gut aus, aber sie hat eine Hautkrankheit. Ich sehe, dass sie auch, sagen wir, von mir und natürlich steht ein bisschen dick, kann ich sagen. Dann, sobald wir näher kommen können, können wir natürlich sehen, mehr wie ist der Zustand. Aber man sieht deutlich hier Hautkrankheit.
The female cub, Mona, has a large swelling on the back of her head. Max, the male, looks reasonably healthy. Despite Saad al-Jamal being relatively poor, the cubs have been well cared for. But the cost of fresh meat is one of the reasons he's decided they can't continue to keep them. For the border crossing to go smoothly, Saad must sign transfer of ownership papers and other documentation. Letting the cubs go is especially hard for 18-year-old Ibrahim. Along with his father, he's been the main caregiver. Like so many young people in Gaza, he has no work prospects, so the cubs have been a distraction from the futility of daily life, giving him something worthwhile to do. They've probably also given him some status in the local community. Saad and Ibrahim accompany the team back to the border to make their final farewells. The cubs are used to being handled by humans, but they're getting to a size where they could easily inflict a nasty bite.
طبعا من البداية الأسود حيوانات يعني أنا كنت بعتبرها الناس تعتبرها مفترسة وشرسة، أنا بعتبرها لطيفة. إذا كانت في مصر كنت أتعامل معها أو كان هنا داخل قطاع غزة. وأنا صممت في المواليد إن أنا أحتفظ فيها وأربيها داخل البيت وأعيشها وتصل إنها تكون أليفة داخل البيت، وأثبت للعالم إنه الأسد ممكن يعيش داخل البيت ويصل لسن عمره قرب على السنة وأليفين جدا داخل البيت. أكيد صعب كتير، لحظة مؤلمة جدا.
The story has broken in the local press. Journalists and curious bystanders have come to see Max and Mona. For a time, security becomes incredibly relaxed, and there's almost a carnival atmosphere as soldiers and locals come to get a glimpse of the cubs. As a parting gift, Dr. Khalil presents Ibrahim with a book about Lions Rock, a wildlife sanctuary similar to where Max and Mona will eventually be rehoused. Finally, it's time for the cubs to go.
أيوة والله أنا بالنسبة لي شعوري حزين جدا جدا. أنا متأكد إنه هيروحوا وهيسعدوا في حياتهم، يعني هيروحوا مكان مخلوقين له يعني.
Dr. Khalil is visibly affected. He's come to know the family well and has seen how much the cubs mean to Saad and Ibrahim. The extended goodbye and the attention from media has cost precious time. Now the team are under pressure to get back to the Israeli border before midday. Being a Friday, the border closes early. The heat and commotion are also causing major stress for the cubs. The sooner they can be moved into a quiet, cool setting, the better. But just as the team are about to leave the final Palestinian checkpoint, they hit another roadblock.
We are facing again second problem about the coordination with the Israeli to bring the lions in. They don't know exactly what's needed. So they suggest now that I have to go inside to coordinate with the vets there to explain and to understand and to go ahead.
Dr. Khalil has veterinary passports and a certificate showing the lions were a donation. However, the Israeli authorities are asking for further documentation. Dr. Khalil's calling officials who helped with the previous rescue mission in Gaza.
You assist us and you join me and my team during the last lion transfer from Gaza to Amman.
In order to enter Israel, the lions need health and veterinary certificates from the Palestinian Ministry of Agriculture or a waiver from the Israeli authorities.
I don't want to make pressure on you, sir. I really... Yes, I am with the lion. I am with the lion with the cages. They are young sizes. I take them with my hand. I need your help now.
Dr. Khalil is trying to state a case for getting the cubs to a place where they can receive medical attention, particularly the swelling on Mona's head, which needs proper medical assessment.
I hope that the Israel side and the Agriculture Ministry department here, which are in contact with us, to assist us to issue a quick permit for urgent need and urgent medical care need for these two lions.
While Dr. Khalil continues to appeal to the authorities, the hours quickly pass by, and Israeli officers are closing down for the weekend.
Thank you, sir. We have a problem. Said they close 1:30. I said, but the team are here since 15 before 12. We give the passport 15 before 12. The official communication came, the border is closed, you have to wait here till they open the border, which will be on Sunday, which is really mad. We see still people coming out who don't understand, this is the rules. But at the end of the day, the military decide here and they say the border is closed. And it's a Shabbat, so that's it where we are now. Yeah, that's it.
Shabbat is the 7th day of the Jewish week and their day of rest. Starting on Friday evening and finishing Saturday night, the Israeli border will be closed until Sunday. For the Four Paws team, it means 36 hours waiting in limbo at the Gaza border, and that could be disastrous for the cubs. But just when it looks like the rescue mission is doomed to failure, Dr. Khalil receives another phone call.
This was the Minister for Foreign Affairs here in Gaza.
Yeah.
And he just called to confirm they will let us pass. We have just to leave our passport at the border. And Sunday morning when we leave, we take the passport back.
The entire team will now go back to Gaza. Although it's the opposite direction to where they want to go, it's a better option than 2 nights in no man's land. The team are being sent to a hotel in Gaza City, where they must stay under house arrest until they have permission to enter Israel. For Dr. Khalil, any hopes of keeping a low profile on the operation have now been dashed. Checking in 2 lions raises more than a few eyebrows at the upmarket Gaza hotel. Fortunately, the hotel manager is willing to accept the unusual guests. Their room, a small garden area behind his office.
Sie werden hier zumachen mit einem Zaun jetzt, mit dem Direktor, ja. Und die können jetzt frei lassen in der nächsten Stunde, für die nächsten 2 Tage, das ist besser. Erst einmal ein bisschen los von diesen Ketten und wollen Wasser trinken. Die haben fast nichts getrunken den ganzen Tag. Es heißt, sie sind müde für uns. Sie wollen was essen.
It's been a long day for all involved, not least Dr. Khalil, who's now been awake for over 36 hours. With the lions safe, the team can eat and rest and figure out the next move in the morning. Coming up, can they get Mona to safety in time?
He's very sick, he's very pain.
The following day, and Mona and Max are being waited on hand and foot by hotel manager Basil Shawa.
It's very nice guest. Beautiful animals. We don't have places for the animals, but we can manage to put them in this small garden here, and we keep him safe.
Basil's also playing it safe by keeping them well fed.
I saw the doctor yesterday, they feed them, and I no idea if they are stomach full, they don't eat people.
Some house guests are impossible to please, though. The cubs were brought up on chicken, and it appears good quality beef is not to their taste. It looks as if they'd rather stick to what they know. Inside the hotel, Dr. Khalil is meeting with the local coordinator for the rescue mission. He's heard that some locals aren't happy about it.
Mohamed is one of our main contact person with our colleagues who are supporting our mission, makes the logistic for us. And it was regarding some troubles with some guys which are not happy that we are here and that we take the lions out. They think, okay, we export animals, we make their territory are empty from the precious wild animals. These guys are angry and they will try to stop and do everything possible to stop us to leave the strip.
This is worrying news. Dr. Khalil and the team can only sit tight and hope it doesn't get out of hand. In the meantime, he finally gets an opportunity to inspect the cubs.
This cubs take from the mom, who is about 4 weeks age, so they don't have really the proper colostrum or from the milk of the mom, which is really difficult in a way. It's not really the proper immune system they have. They don't have the proper nutrition in the last months. So you can see also the skin problems here. They need special medical care in the coming weeks. The proper vaccination. They never were visited by a vet, but this one, as you see, is really weak.
Dr. Khalil is particularly concerned about Mona's head injury.
Hey. Yeah, he's very sick, he's very pain. It's water under something hit him. But what is also worried that don't eat today, what I understood.
A check of the cub's reflexes suggests Mona's swelling is either a symptom or the cause of other problems.
I think I have a serious problem because they don't really react like the other lions, if you see with the eye. You see? You see this one?
You can see his head, and he's aggressive.
Sure.
He's afraid. And the pupil opening reflex is not very clear. I will bring later in the evening, like my lights, and try to check him probably.
The enforced stopover in Gaza gives Dr. Khalil the opportunity to meet with a Palestinian government representative.
He is representing the Minister for Agriculture here in Gaza Strip. The main point was how to solve the problem of wild animals which are living in private zoos and private captivity in Gaza for long term.
There are around 7 privately run zoos in war-torn Gaza. Many of them are struggling to provide food and medicines for their animals. On a previous trip in April 2015, Dr. Khalil and the Four Paws team witnessed horror conditions at the Khan Yunis Zoo in the central Gaza Strip. It had run out of money to pay its zookeepers and fallen into serious disrepair. Cages were full of waste and debris, and animals that had died of starvation had been stuffed and put back on display.
This is very bad to show kids or children this way. I know the situation and the financial situation is not good, so we bring food for 3 months. We treated the lioness, which is here. We succeed to treat some other animal and vaccinate a lot of animals.
The meeting is to discuss an offer by Four Paws to help create a public park with species-appropriate conditions if the government can provide a site.
They confirm they are able to confiscate all this animal and to put them in a place and to stop this problem with wild animal kept in private captivity.
The government official also has good news regarding the veterinary certificates for the cubs.
The proper documentation should be issued today, latest early morning tomorrow, for the lion's cubs to be moved to Jordan. This should be coordinated with the Israel authority.
Just when it seems progress is finally being made, there is more bad news. The Palestinian authorities have become suspicious about the group's intentions in Gaza and have summoned them to an interview.
They wanted by this way, Israel side. I spoke in between with somebody from Ministry of Interior, which is a man in charge with this case. Sure, he was not happy about all the situation, what happened. He said we create a lot of problems. We have to meet him personally tomorrow morning, all the group without exception. The main issue for him, he have to clarify why foreigners and journalists don't coordinate with the Office of Media in Gaza. Why, when they inform the group to leave the border the first day, why they slept at the border?
One thing is now certain. The team won't be getting out of Gaza tonight. With time to kill, Dr. Khalil has made a call to Rafah and invited Saad and Ibrahim to come by the hotel. After several stressful days on the move with strangers, Mona and Max are clearly overjoyed to see some familiar faces.
قلنا بيسألك انت فرحان انك شفتهم مع انك امبارح شفت افتكرت
طبعا
تذبحهم مش هتشوفهم تاني.
احنا ما نمناش الليل.
هي اكتر واحده يعني هي اكتر من هذا بتحبني يعني.
هي حساسه.
حساسه جدا. اول ما فتحت القفص هي لحالها هي اللي بتلعب لعب مش طبيعي لما اخذتوه. حاسه انه راح يصير حاجه يعني.
ايوه.
Despite the strong bond between them, Dr. Khalil is convinced it's right to be taking the cubs away.
I feel very honest happy that I see them together again. It's nice, they like to play, but they play their game. And they're still wild animal. If they get angry, I believe they will be very, very wild. And when they get adult and more stronger, more powerful, this is really risky. They are not pet animal, they are still wild animal.
This is the perfect opportunity for Dr. Khalil to find out if Saad and Ibrahim know how Mona came about her head injury.
He imagined could be from the zoo where it was, because he kept it sometimes at the zoo. And this is about 2 weeks now like this.
Saad and Ibrahim leave, knowing their cubs are in good hands. Next, the rescue team have a chance to get across the border.
There is a hope. There is a hope. We can go.
The team were up at 8 a.m. to meet Palestinian officials at the Office of the Interior Ministry. No cameras were allowed inside.
It was a lot of explanation. At first, the apology about what happened. Suspect journalists report that there is ISIS in Gaza, which is not the true, and they were aware that some of you come, and exactly at 4 o'clock that the border will be closed. So it was a lot of misunderstanding.
But Dr. Khalil still can't afford to relax. There remains the possibility of intervention from the group opposed to the removal of the lions. Back at the hotel, the team swings into action as permits from the Ministry of Agriculture arrive.
The team is ready, and they really were wishing to pass through you with your assistance and our colleague waiting.
With all the paperwork now in place, the team is just awaiting the final go-ahead from Israel.
There is a hope. There is a hope. 5 minutes we know, but we will not wait this 5 minutes. We have to go prepare our things, prepare ourselves for the trip.
The team scrambled to pack and be ready to leave.
Who will carry me with me, the lions or the cages?
Let's go.
Max and Mona have been given a low dose of sedative in their drinking water to keep them calm for the last step of their journey. This is where the team was held up 2 days earlier, but now they have all the necessary paperwork.
We are now waiting to go into the Israeli part of the Erez crossing. It looks like that everything is well organized. We're in contact with the Israeli side, with the military and the coordination of the crossing, and everything will be fine, hopefully.
The lions are okay. They are still quiet. I mean, they get some small sedative in the water. They're still quiet. Everything's fine. And we still have the trip till Jordan, but I hope we will manage. Wait.
The journey through Israel is in stark contrast to the scenes the team witnessed during their time in Gaza. At the Jordanian border, they finally meet up with the Amman team, who've had an anxious wait over the last few days.
No, it's been like, are they coming today? They're not coming today. Guys are ready since the morning. We were waiting. And then, the message is saying, no, we're not coming today. It seems tomorrow. Half an hour then later, you say, no, we're coming today.
Finally, the team arrives at the New Hope Center in Amman. Princess Alia has come to greet the team and welcome her newest residents. This is the first time Dr. Khalil has seen the cubs' new home.
This is nice. It's perfect. Well done. Well done.
The other way around?
All right.
These tentative first steps mark the end of the journey and the start of a new life for Max and Mona.
to see some creature come from a not ideal situation and be able to be part of a relief for it is really a huge pleasure. Hopefully they'll now be able to become proper lions as opposed to pets.
For the entire team, it's moments like this that make the sleepless nights and dangerous work all worth the effort.
These success stories, when you get these animals out and put them in the sanctuaries, prove them a secure life, this is the best ever.
Very, very happy that the lions will start a new life. They don't need to be more as show or actress on the beach. They don't need more for 1 or 2 shekels just to get a picture with somebody. They don't need to sleep with the children. They can play with each other and they can grow, and they are wild animals. And I'm happy they will be just lions.
The following morning, with the cubs more settled, Dr. Khalil can finally remove the last trace of Mona and Max's private keeping. And as the curious cubs begin to explore their new environment, they make an exciting discovery. They're not alone.
They're very, very curious what's going on the other place. They try to communicate. The lion from the other side try to communicate. I see also they like their place. They're really discovering it. And I'm happy that the female, she's in much better condition. She's more active, moving, and this is a very good sign, very good sign.
In a future episode, we'll follow the cubs as they take the final step of their journey into the newly completed Al Mawassouf Animal Sanctuary. Next time on Wild Animal Rescue, we travel to Kosovo to rescue brown bears used as attractions at local restaurants. Locked in small cages, their future is bleak if Four Paws doesn't take action. And a team in Romania rescue wild horses at the Danube from the slaughterhouse.